Welcome back, everybody.
Morning, everyone.
Joe here.
Kevin?
All right. The last episode we watched was very interesting as far as ideas go. We got to see Bob come in clutch. He saved the day, quite literally. And you picked up on the fact that you're thinking there might be some head-to-head with Will and Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitable because they're coming intellectually from such a different place that they're going to have some conflict. And I think the only one who seemed surprised about that was actually Will. Will seemed like really confused that he wasn't able to tell Bob exactly what to do when Bob just did it.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, maybe a little naive on Will's part.
Sure.
I mean, Bob is a three-time congressman, and now the vice president. Maybe he is going to actually have his own ideas about what he's going to do sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what those ideas are going to be, right? Because obviously, having Will in your corner is smart.
Sure,
it's a good bet.
Will's definitely smarter than Bob,
For sure,
unquestionably.
But just out of curiosity, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what that is going to be. What are they going to put heads on?
Sure.
What is Bob's path in the last half of this show?
Right. Well, I think the kind of the sense that we got there was Bob's going to make policy decisions or decisions of whatever he's going to do, whatever issues he's going to deem important and what role he's going to play in them. And Will is thinking about one thing only: election
Yeah.
for when he runs for president.
And is Bob going to be in his own way? Is Bob going to have some good ideas that Will gets wrong?
Right.
I think, like you said, Will is obviously smarter, and I think Will does have his best interest in mind, obviously.
Sure. I also think unequivocally, and if anyone disagrees, let me know. I find absolutely nothing presidential about Bob Russell. I would be really sad. Or it'd be an interesting way to end the show, I guess, if Bob is the president at the end of season 7, if he wins the election and he's president.
It'd be dark at this point, obviously, but we have 2 seasons, 2.5 seasons,
right,
really, to see if Bob is that guy. We don't think he is yet.
No,
obviously,
I don't think he's smart enough. I don't think that Bob. Again, Bob, as you said, Bob did come in clutch last time,
but that was one time in a slew of episodes we've had with him.
He is intellectually not a curious person. I don't know that there's anything that's going to happen in the show to make Bob all of a sudden go from being the guy he is, to be on the same level as Jed Bartlett is,
for sure,
on the show.
Huge shoes to fill, obviously.
Right. And so if I feel like for what this show is, if he's going to come in substantially below what Jed Bartlett is, he's not a worthy replacement. And I don't think the show's going to try to sell him as one.
And he's not a bad guy.
No, he's not, for sure.
It's just you want someone of an equal to
gravitas and intellect, right? And Bob doesn't seem to have those.
Not yet.
But again, he did come in big, but that's also because he just happened to know a lot about
right place at the right time.
Yeah, it was just a situation in his wheelhouse, right? Yeah. Between the guy he talked to on the boat, who kind of gave him the information, plus he, lives in a uranium enriching state.
That's all happenstance, too.
Right? Yeah, no, it is. He just happened to be. These are, right. You ask me about name all the NFL teams, and I'm going to sound like a genius on Jeopardy. Then you start asking me about 18th century opera, and I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Google that one.
He just got lucky. All right, we're going to jump into it here. I do want to thank all our Patreon subscribers for being here with us. Then give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Foldes, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Surigunda Varapu, Weird Magic, and Torgir Lingstad. Thanks so much, guys. We're really happy here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you're watching us for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you might hit the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or currently watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including The West Wing, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. So if you get done watching YouTube edits and would like to continue, you can do that on our Patreon page. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You'll only see near us for copyright purposes. Also, watching thing is a Patreon exclusive. Oh, bless you.
Roger 1. Operation is in heavy contact at Bravo Romeo 945374.
Off the front ridge.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So we're going to have like a behind enemy line situation here?
They said the end key. Was that a flashback? Was that a Leo flashback? Because he was a pilot in Vietnam.
I wonder if he was. Okay, yes. You might be right there. It was a pilot.
Maybe, I don't know.
Pilot,
it just looked older. No, they showed the patch. I was like, this has to be something historical.
I'm not familiar with that era.
Right.
The finest man that I have ever had the great privilege to call my friend.
He was on the first season of Walking Dead.
Yeah, he
He had a
was.
big beard.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with his name, but I know he works with Frank Darabont quite a bit.
Stop being a baby about this.
I don't need a portrait.
Of course you do.
Like me
We're
with
still
my
on this.
Irish wolfhound gazing with portent out over the Potomac.
A Navy E-2 Hawkeye providing command and
Oh,
control
never mind.
for the
Okay, I was
Carl
wrong.
Vinson carrier battle group went down in the Sea of Japan.
Where are they?
Somewhere north of Kimchak, 300 kilometers northeast of Pyongyang.
Oh, so they're
in
in
the Republic
North
of
Korea.
North Korea.
Yeah.
Our people are in the water
They were, but now their GPS beacons indicate they're on land.
in North Korea.
Sending a Special Forces covert retrieval team into North Korea will be seen as an act of war.
We're still at war with North Korea. We've never signed an armistice.
Congressman Went wants a tax cut for stay-at-home moms.
Too late to slip an incentive for stay-at-home congressmen?
The president's flying to Went's district in South Carolina on Saturday.
What if you just kick up a cloud of dust about the revenue impact and mention that he's the Darth Vader of childcare?
It's J.D. Vance now.
You're right, yeah.
We think you should go on the Taylor Reid show. The chicken thing has legs. Those pointy
Really?
little toes.
No.
Go on the show, call his bluff, show you have a sense of humor. Can wear a chicken suit.
No.
Call the Taylor Reid show, book me on the next open slot. I'm going to reach down and rip off his puny little face.
That's good.
That is good. I don't think Jay Moore's a tall guy.
No.
You're still on good terms with Hunt?
I don't think the senator's gonna invite me down to his ranch to lasso a bull anytime soon.
Find out what's going on with the Ramses thing, will you?
Went
So much going on this
another one of
episode.
these moving America back to the Mamie Eisenhower era. Is Jimmy Olsen with us today?
Ryan!
That's funny. He does have Jimmy Olsen vibes.
He does, yeah.
Read the different drafts of the amendment. Show how many more women would have benefited from the president's child care tax credit than from Went's stay-at-home proposal.
Long before they figure out our guys made it to shore.
It's hard to say. Right now, it looks as if they're assuming no one got out.
A 4-man SEAL team will halo drop over the crash site under cover of darkness.
Halo drop.
They parachute out at 40,000 feet.
It's a long drop.
Thank you for seeing me, Senator.
You still getting in a little handball now and then,
Philip Baker
Josh?
Hall.
As the years go by, I like my sports with a little more leverage.
You tell Leo that the Armed Services Committee is going to exercise its oversight prerogatives. Mr. O'Neill is just going to have to wait.
I'm going to start volunteering.
Volunteering, ma'am?
At the Washington Free Clinic.
You're going to start practicing
Nice.
medicine again?
I'll just be helping out a bit. I voluntarily chose to stop practicing CJ. And now I'm choosing to give a few underprivileged toddlers vaccinations.
Good for you.
I agree, but it's just politically problematic. She didn't look happy about that.
Well, we'll see.
Mission deployed.
Okay, so this is, okay. I was
At the
confused.
beginning of the episode.
Right, yeah.
For sure. Okay, so Leo.
That was
behind the
Leo,
lines.
yeah. And it's probably the guy he was honoring.
Kenny?
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta go. I'll be okay. We built pretty close. Trust me. Wait up that way.
You won't make it with me alone.
I take it Leo's the one that's injured.
What's his problem?
He implied you had me inquiring on behalf of Ken O'Neill.
I'll call Hunt.
Ken says Ken O'Neill's going to be the first witness subpoenaed.
Margaret!
If they're involved in procurement irregularities, any attempt on your part to impede a
I'm not going to impede anything.
Yeah, this is going to be really personal for him.
Yeah, it is.
So it looks like then the contract is to benefit his friend, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
You're accusing me of using my influence to get them the contract?
Well, how many years did you work for Mueller Wright? Was it 10?
If you're drawing a partisan subpoena list, Matt, put my name on top.
As promised, White House Press Secretary C.J. Craig has finally agreed to join us
really
today.
don't
Miss
like him.
Craig, global
Yeah.
warming, that's a liberal fantasy, isn't it? Judicial nominees, the United States Senate doesn't think
Oh,
it's
he's
a
just gonna
good
hop
idea to
around.
approve of Bartlett's liberal judges that treat the Constitution like it's some kind of beer coast.
Yeah. He's gish galloping all over the place.
I've got a picture of us together in college. Would you like to see it?
What a weird, slow reveal here.
Who is it?
Leo knows he can't testify on behalf of a major defense contractor. What's he thinking?
He's not thinking.
They should be telling him this for
Yeah. No, because Leo doesn't have to listen to these guys.
Toby and Josh came to see me about this Mueller Wright thing.
I told Josh I'd handle it.
By going before the Armed Services Committee? Yeah. You were a senior corporate officer at Mueller Wright for over 10 years, right, Leo? You can't testify.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
He doesn't actually know. Maybe that's why Ken's not taking his calls.
Went wants a tax cut for stay-at-home moms. Unless you're a poor woman, then of course he'd argue you have to work or you should be denied welfare benefits.
So which would you choose, Ryan? Daycare tax cut or this?
Daycare. But why should we choose for everybody else?
You missed Ben. He hung around for a while, but he had to get back for a meeting at Interior.
How's he look?
If you don't want him, can I have him?
Harrington and Penny Loafers here just corrected me in front of the president.
Were you wrong?
That's not the point.
I want you to keep him from publicly supporting Ken O'Neill.
Because O'Neill's guilty, that's what he's going to tell him. Yeah.
Until 6 weeks ago, he was a DOD procurement officer making $80,000 a year. Now, he is a senior vice president of a major defense contractor making over $300,000 a year.
Yeah, there's a quid pro quo there.
All 5 pieces of cargo were recovered.
Awesome. We can check that one off the list,
right?
It's not your fault.
I told him if he tried to drag you up in front of armed services, he'd have to haul me up there first.
No, you can't testify.
Good.
Thank you.
It comes
Yeah.
to that, I can handle Hunt.
You can't testify. I'm going to take the fifth. We didn't do the AOA. I gave a procurement officer at the DOD a job.
I'm glad he's leveling with him.
Good.
You okay?
Kenny did it. We were out in the jungle for 3 days. Kenny carried me on his back.
Oh my God.
Men died for us. We had a responsibility to live our lives with integrity and honesty, to honor their sacrifice.
Oh, Kenny blew it. He did it for the money.
You've done more. Much more, all on your own, to honor their memory, Leo.
Oh. This is getting.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. Great little episode.
Yeah.
Hard to talk about. I mean, in this season, we've gotten a lot of episodes. There's a lot going on.
Sure.
Honestly. This is no different. It sucks. You know, at first I was like, when he was, upset in there. Obviously, he can't follow his friend into this one. He can't fight for it.
Yeah.
But he's more upset about the fact that he did.
Yeah, it felt
betray. Well, I don't want to say betray, but he didn't live up to the.
Yeah, it was disappointment. Yeah, and I love that you didn't know that, right? It wasn't expressed in any way. I thought Leo was upset because his friend was going to go down, a really good friend, an important friend. Yeah. But no, it was disappointed him. He was like, we owed people to be better than this.
Yeah.
Good people. Which is such a really good revelation in the writing. I mean, the writing is still top notch.
That was an insane reveal.
Oh yeah.
Talk about how to ruin a friendship in 35 years.
Right.
I love that Bartlett brought the Latin back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that
for sure.
A great line as well. The Jay Moore storyline was infuriating to me, but that's it served its purpose. That's what it's supposed to be.
Right. He's supposed to be infuriating. Jay Moore employed a very popular rhetorical fallacy, bad faith rhetorical fallacy called what's called a Gish Gallop, in that you're going to argue with somebody about something and you want to make them look bad, you shotgun them with 1,000,000 points, right? You hit them and hit them and hit them and hit them to where there's no way a reasonable person can respond to all of the crap you threw out at once. And you say, haha, you couldn't respond to what I gave you, therefore you're wrong and I'm right. And it's like, no, you didn't argue in a good faith way at all. Yeah. That's why she made the comment about just leaving the cardboard cut out. You just want to sit here and bloviate, then I don't need to be here for it.
For sure. And
yeah, he sucked in this, but that's Jay Moore's character to a T.
Yeah. Do you think that the Abbey thing is going to come back, though? Her volunteering at a free clinic?
I do. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't know what the issue with it is. I guess, because she promised not to practice medicine, some people might have a problem with it. The only thing that made me think it might be an issue is CJ's reaction was, oh crap, you shouldn't be doing this, right? Clearly on her face. So I feel like it's going to come back because of that, because CJ was like, oh no, this is going to be an issue. And whenever there's like, on the show, like since season 1, when there's an issue that looks like it might blow up in terms of public persona in the media, CJ is right 100% of the time.
Yeah.
She has never been wrong on that.
No. And yeah, it was a more of a knowing look. Like you're right. Like
You're like, oh, this is not going to go
this is
well.
going to come up. You know? Which I hope. I don't know. Like you said, obviously, we're happy that Abby's getting involved again.
Sure.
Of course, it's going to be perceived a certain way because people are dumb. I don't know. I want her because even when it happened in the first place, she did lie.
Right.
She did lie,
She did.
but we're both like, this is so stupid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I want her character to get back to that. I want her to be. Obviously, she made a huge sacrifice for Jed.
Yep.
I don't know what it's going to look like going forward. Obviously, I doubt we're going to retread that. You know what I mean?
Not too heavily. I don't think we're going to get back into like hearings or anything.
Sure.
She said herself that she voluntarily gave up her license.
Yeah.
Now she seems to be going back on that. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, obviously, we still have plenty of episodes left.
Right. There'll be a conversation about it, but I don't know if it'll come to it.
And I thought the MS thing was going to come up again too from the opening credits.
Right.
You know, or the what do you call it? The recaps.
Right.
Who knows? I don't know. The season's kind of. I don't want to say it's all over the place, but it is. They're tackling different ideas in each episode. Obviously, the last episode was fantastic. This one was also brilliant. I'm curious to see how they're going to finish out this season. You know, we still have lots of stuff with Bob. The Leo. I mean, Leo gets a lot of the most interesting stories. I feel like. Yeah.
Sure.
Every time we get a good Leo episode, it's always a winner.
Well, he's the older character on the show, so he's got more backstory that they can mine from, like they did in this.
And I always love it.
I do too.
You know, even if it's tragic.
Yeah, and I do think the MS is going to come up. I think they're teasing something on that as well. But I mean, it'd be weird if it just went away after everything that's happened with it so far.
It hasn't been the focus, certainly.
No, and it doesn't have to be. You know, it's something you can kind of bring out whenever, way down the road. But I do think it's going to come back. All right, we'll catch you next one, guys.
See ya.